Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 13450 Southwest Village Glen Court here in Tigard. We are located, I'm going to describe everything as if you're standing in the street looking at the front door of the house. We are inside the garage right now in the front left corner of it. We have a 4-inch cast iron clean out as our point of access. We're going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We do have water currently running. Alright, we're going to zero out the foot counter here at the base of the clean out. And off we go. Line just made a couple turns there to where it's heading, looks like under the driveway towards the right side of the property right now. Alright, looks like we're transitioning materials here from cast iron to concrete. That would appear to be 6-inch diameter concrete as best I can tell. It's rather amazing that there was 70 feet of cast iron in there. It's very uncommon. If you're going to have old pipe materials, cast iron is the stuff to have. It lasts for a very long time, unlike this concrete that has a root intrusion through it, which we'll be locating out on the way out. But it's, anyhow, normally this era of house, that cast iron would have ended about 5 feet outside the house and you'd have concrete the rest of the way. Concrete does not hold up quite as nicely over time. Especially the pipe joints, which you just saw the root there. So we're going to go ahead and locate. We've reached the main here at 85 feet. As far as flow goes, the line has good flow all the way to the main. I don't believe there's any standing water in the line whatsoever. We'll get a better view of that as we come out, but flow-wise, the line is doing its job here. We will recommend repairs on the root. Anything else we find on the way back. At this point in time, though, the roots are not blocking the line and affecting functionality. All right, we just attempted to locate there. I picked up a signal to the right of the driveway, about 5 to 10 feet or so to the right of the driveway, but the signal is coming in kind of wonky and not as accurate as I like, so we'll pull back here a bit. We're going to locate the root intrusion. That'll tell us which street the line's going out to. You got a little something sticking out of that joint there, kind of at the top left-hand corner of the screen, which, when it comes to concrete pipe joints, it's very common for them to, technically speaking, become somewhat compromised over time, where you get little bits of dirt and groundwater that seep through. When it comes to confirming that with certainty, I generally won't recommend repairs on these unless the joint is gaping wide open to where it's very obvious that it's open to the ground, and or if I've got secondary signs like water staining at the joint. This could be dirt coming through. It could also be excess pipe grout. So that's why I like to see secondary signs, earthworms crawling around, stuff like that, or water dripping through, to actually confirm it. As it sits right now, that joint is very, very tight. It may be allowing small amounts of dirt through here and there. There's not enough to confirm it, though. Generally, when you have a joint sucking groundwater and dirt through it, you have very obvious dark black staining around the pipe joint. So the excess grout can look almost identical to dirt. So that joint's not affecting flow at all up ahead there whatsoever. And the joint is way too tight to be letting water or sewage escape the line. It's possible during the rainy season when you have lots of heavy water saturation, which creates hydraulic pressure. You may be getting stuff coming through there from time to time, but today it's not something I can confirm. And again, the joint's not affecting functionality at all. So we are going to go locate the root here, though, at 73 feet. We will mark this with white paint. I do recommend a spot repair to correct it. If repairs are not done, I would rescope the line about 6 months to a year after living in here to keep an eye on it, see how it's growing. Some roots grow quickly, some don't. So it'd be a good idea to keep an eye on it, make sure it's not getting out of control if you're not doing repairs right away. Alrighty, I was able to locate the camera head successfully this time. So the line does not go where I originally thought. It goes out to Village Glen Drive. There was something out by the curb on Court that was putting off somewhat of a signal. But the line essentially does about a 180-degree turnaround. It comes out the front. It looks like, anyway. It's possible. I'll try and stare through the cleanout to see if it travels under the floor. But it wraps around the right side of the house and then shoots out to Village Glen Drive after that point. But you're at 5 feet deep there. This is under just dirt, thank goodness. I do recommend a repair there to correct that. If you decide to do repairs, make sure a rescope is done to check the work. It's an important thing to do. And then that stringy stuff there at the top of the pipe, all that just appears to be cobwebs, not roots. It's a small miracle this has this much cast iron in it. If this were concrete, like most houses would be at this era, this entire line would be blasted with roots. It travels past a lot of really big trees. Yeah, so looking in, I just looked into the clean out there. So the line does actually go right out the front. It was possible that it went under the garage floor to the right side of the house, but it goes out the front and then does a total turnaround. And basically travels from front to back on the right side of the property and gets just barely past the back of the house and then turns and drops down to Village Glen Drive. Got a little water coming through the line there. That's not standing water. And I tell this to everyone who has cast iron pipe. You can see on the inside of it, especially on the sidewalls there, you get rust scaling that happens, and it makes the line somewhat rough and bumpy. You want to make sure you're not putting things like this down the line right here, which appears to be like a paper towel or something of that nature. I don't recommend cleaning that out of the line. There's no secondary buildup on top of it. And when you go running machines through cast iron, you can knock that rust loose. And if you don't thoroughly remove the rust from the line, you can end up with a worse problem than you had before. So I don't recommend cleaning that out of there. It shows no evidence of causing anything else to collect over the top of it. But you just want to make sure you're not putting things like paper towels, tampons, flushable wipes. Even the flushable ones are terrible. Don't use them. But they tend to snag up in this type of pipe, and then they don't break down on their own like toilet paper does. So they end up staying there a long time. You got a little bit of gasket bulging through the joint here. That joint shows no evidence of being open to the ground. That's not affecting flow. So no, I don't have any issues with that there. No repairs are needed in my opinion. Another spot there where the gasket's kind of bulging through the joint. Again, the joint's not open to the ground there, and that's not affecting flow. No repairs are needed. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and roll the camera out of the line. As it sits right now, because the roots are not affecting functionality, we have good flow to the main lateral connection. All the pipe we just scoped there, both the cast iron and concrete, aside from the root intruded joint, appear to be in good, for its age anyway, good condition and intact. The sewer line is functioning properly at this time. Again, I would recommend repairing the roots so that the line stays that way. If repairs are not done, rescope the line at about the 1 year mark. That's going to give you an idea as to how fast those roots are growing. And when it comes to cutting roots, you can certainly cut the roots out of there. What I see sometimes with these roots that come to the top of the pipe, though, and not through the flow line, one, at the top of the pipe, they've got to grow a lot more to get into the flow line and actually cause flow problems. But if you go and cut those, some bushes and trees, when you cut the roots, will actually go into repair mode, and they will come back bigger, faster, and more aggressively than they did before. So if you're going to let it be and not do repairs on it, I don't know that I'd even cut them out of there. I would rescope in again, 6 months to a year. You can probably safely get out to a year at this point. Those roots have likely been there for a long time, but we don't know that. They could have come through last week or 20 years ago. We just don't know. But rescope to get an idea as to how quick they're growing. It just makes me nervous having you cut roots that aren't affecting the functionality at this point in time anyway, and then having them come back twice as big and faster. So, and rescope the line if repairs are done. As it sits now, the line is functioning at this time.